Hi everyone. My name is Evelyn Hart. I'm 31 years old. For 23 years, I cooked my brother's meals, cleaned his room, folded his laundry, and stood just outside every family photo while my parents called him the one who mattered. And the first time anyone stopped the pattern was at my grandmother's will reading when my mother told me to wait outside. The lawyer looked up and said, "No, she stays." The room went quiet when he said it. Not exactly where my mother had placed me. "Just wait outside," she had said softly, like she was protecting me from something. "This is family business." Family business. That phrase had followed me my whole life like a locked door. I was family enough to scrub pans, steam dress shirts, carry trays, and miss sleep, just never family enough to sit down first. The lawyer, Mr. Bellamy, took off his glasses and looked directly at my mother. My father called him the future of the family. I called him Ryan because somebody needed to clean the upstairs. The strange part is that none of this looked dramatic from the outside. There were no screaming matches every day, no sensational cruelty. That's why families over. My father bragged about Ryan's future, but introduced me by saying, "Evelyn is a family." Loaded once, my grandmother's handwriting slanting hard across the top of the first page. Even before he started reading, my mother said, "This feels unnecessary." Mr. Bell moved from the room. Her kitchen still smelled faintly of lemon oil and tea. The ceramic cookie jar was still by the stove. Her cardigan still hung over the back of the breakfast chair. And for one stupid second, I expected, in Grandma's handwriting, "If the ledger is found, read this only after they deny everything." My father stood up. "I'm done with this." Bellamy put one hand on the note. "You may be," he said, "but your mother wasn't." And for the first time that afternoon, nobody tried to stop him when he broke the seal. Bellamy broke the seal. The paper inside was thinner than the earlier letter, but the handwriting was sharper, less affectionate, more final. The kind of writing people do when they are no longer trying to persuade anyone of anything. He read the first line out loud. "If they are hearing this, then they have already lied in my kitchen." My mother made a sound like she had been struck. My father did not sit back down. Bellamy kept going. "Thomas will say Ryan knew nothing. Shirley will say Evelyn was loved in her own way. Ryan will look confused because confusion has always been the cleanest shirt laid out for him." Ryan's face flushed immediately. "That's ridiculous," he said. Bellamy read right through him. "I am tired of the family story that Evelyn was merely helpful. Helpful is bringing a casserole. Helpful is driving someone to an appointment. 23 years of unpaid service inside your own childhood is not help. It is extraction dressed as virtue." No one moved. I heard the refrigerator hum. The clock over the stove tick once. My father crossed his arms, but it was too late for posture now. The note had the room. Bellamy turned the page. "I watched Shirley let that girl eat last for years. I watched Thomas praise his son for breathing and his daughter for scrubbing pans. I watched college money disappear into baseball, groceries become lessons, and every protest recast as disrespect. If you are standing in this kitchen pretending you do not remember, then age has not made me cruel, only accurate." My mother started crying harder. Not because the words were unfair, because they were exact. That distinction matters. Bellamy lowered the paper for 1 second and looked at my father. "Do you want me to stop?" Dad's jaw tightened. "No." Interesting. Maybe he still thought endurance could save face. Maybe he wanted to hear how bad it could get so he could later call it exaggeration. Men like him often think surviving the reading means winning the argument. He had no idea what was still coming. Bellamy resumed. 3 years ago, after the education money was gone and Ryan still took clean shirts from the laundry room without shame, I changed my will. There it was. Not the house, not the ledger, the will. My father went utterly still. My mother lifted both hands to her mouth. Ryan said, "Changed it how?" Bellamy did not answer him. He just kept reading Grandma's words. I told Mr. Bellamy to stop thinking of my estate as family comfort and start thinking of it as a final correction. Correction. That word landed like something metallic on tile. I looked at Bellamy then, and for the first time that day, I saw it in his face, too. Not surprise, anticipation. He already knew what the note was leading toward. He had probably known all morning and was just letting the family walk into each door in the order Grandma intended. Bellamy read the next paragraph more slowly. If Shirley cries, let her. Tears do not return what was taken. If Thomas speaks of fairness, ask him whether fairness ever once required Ryan to wash his own plate. If Ryan says he never asked for any of it, remind him that comfort accepted for 23 years is also a choice. Ryan actually snapped then. I was a kid. I turned toward him before Bellamy could answer. You were 22 when I was still doing your laundry. That shut him up. Because the worst lies in families are not usually factual. They are proportional. He wanted childhood to cover everything. It didn't. Not even close. Bellamy continued. There is a photograph in the oak frame on my living room shelf from Easter, 15 years ago. Everyone smiles. Evelyn is 3 steps behind the chairs holding a serving bowl. If anyone in that kitchen still doubts what I mean, tell them to look at the picture and ask themselves why the only daughter who made the meal was not allowed to sit in it. I closed my eyes for 1 second. I knew the photograph. Pink cardigan. Ham glaze on my wrist. My mother calling me from the stove just before the camera flashed. I had forgotten that part until Grandma put it back in my body with one sentence. My father looked away first. That was important, too. Not because shame had arrived fully, because memory had. Bellamy reached the final paragraph. Do not comfort them before the reading finishes. They have mistaken Evelyn's softness for consent too many times already. Put them back in their chairs, take them to the office, and finish exactly as written. The note ended there. No signature flourish, just Eleanor Hart in steady dark ink. The kitchen stayed quiet for several seconds after Bellamy folded the note. My mother was openly crying now, but it did not change the air. My father looked like someone who had just realized the house, the ledger, the note. None of it was accidental. Grandma had not left chaos. She had left sequence. Ryan finally said, softer now, what does she mean, finish exactly as written? Bellamy put the note back into the ledger and closed it. It means, he said, we return to the office. My father stepped toward the table. No, we can discuss this here. Bellamy looked at him with something close to boredom. No, he said. You can hear it where your mother wanted Evelyn excluded. That sentence hit my mother hardest of all, because suddenly the whole day had shape. The hallway, the room, the letter, the ledger, the note. Grandma had built every step to force the family pattern into the open first, before the money ever entered. And as Bellamy picked up the ledger and motioned for us to leave, I realized the final reading was not going to be about grief. It was going to be about consequence. When we got back to Mr. Bellamy's office, nobody tried to put me in the hallway. That was the first correction. Small, temporary, but real. My mother sat down without speaking. My father looked older than he had 2 hours earlier. Ryan kept glancing at the black ledger like it might still transform into something less damaging if he stopped looking directly at it. It didn't. Bellamy waited until we were all seated. Then he opened the will. No long speech. No theater. Just my grandmother's voice translated into legal language and final choices. Specific cash gifts to the church library and the women's shelter. Her wedding ring to Aunt Denise. The antique clock to her brother. Then the house. The residence on Maple Ridge Road, together with all furnishings not otherwise designated, shall pass in full to my granddaughter, Evelyn Hart. My mother shut her eyes. My father's face did not change at first. That was how he handled impact, by going very still and hoping control might return if he looked disciplined enough. Ryan said, "What?" Bellamy kept reading. The fact that Grandma had not left behind one comforting little compromise they could use to call the outcome unfair. No shared pool, no balanced division, no family treated me like I was part of the... My mother made a scandalized sound. My father stood halfway up. "This is humiliating," read in front of everyone. "Would you ever let that family call you helpful again? Tell me in the comments. And if this story stayed with you, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to see you in the next one.